Hello and welcome to Hello World, Unit 7 of Part 1 of Databases with me, Professor Neil, and my TA, Yonghee.
Hello, this is TA Younghee. Welcome back to Unit 7.
Yes, and today we are talking about databases and database management.
Ooh, today's topic is databases and database management. Not an easy topic.
Yes, so we're going to be talking about information and data, and we're going to start with the warm-up.
Ooh, where is that? Ooh, look at the horses, big horses, policemen.
Okay, well, I shall share some personal information with you. I used to work in London, and this is the Millennium Bridge, which I used to cross when I go on my way to work.
Wow, that is very, very interesting, Professor
Yes,
Neil.
so in today's video, I will be sharing some personal information, but not too private information.
Is there a difference between personal and private?
Yes, but it gets a little complicated. So let's look at it in our warm-up questions to try and look at the difference between personal information and private information.
Ooh, I better write down. I always thought that these two could be the same meaning, but there must be some difference as Professor Neil's mentioning now.
Yes, so personal information is information you would share, but private information is, in a sense, information you don't want to share. It's too personal. So we have our warm-up questions to consider personal and private information. So we've got like, what is your surname? What is your marital status? What is your email address? What is your mobile number? And what information is too personal?
Ooh, interesting.
So let's start with the first one. What is your surname? So, Yonghee, you asked me the questions. That's going to be the easy way to go through this.
Professor Neil, what is your surname?
So, my surname is Patrick. Or it is Patrick. My last name is Patrick. So, surname means last name, family name. And that is personal information, but it's not private information. It's information you are happy to share with people. So let's do question 2.
What is your marital status?
Okay, my marital status. I could say I am single, but that is not true. I am married, or I might say I don't want to say if I think this information is too personal and private. So we're adding some options here for you. If you think the information is too personal, you can say to someone, I don't want to say.
No comment.
Oh, no comment, yes. So we'll look at some other options here.
What is email address?
Oh, hang on, that should say.
What is your email address?
Yes, let's put in the your.
Okay, let's do it again. What is your email address?
Okay, so yes, we've got the your there. So you could say it is busanbridge@gmail.com, or my email is bbinc@naver.com. Or if I think this is a personal question, I could say something like, I would rather not say.
I would rather not to say if I can help it.
Yes. So again, if you're saying I would rather not say, means you don't want to answer the question. But email is quite a non-personal, non-private, and it's something you usually want to share with people. And then we got...
What is your home address?
It is New Villa, Saha, Busan, or my address is... But some people might consider their home address quite personal and say, I am sorry, but that is too personal.
So if I don't want to answer, I can say, I'm sorry, but that is too personal.
Yeah, so who you share this information with is important. And that's what we're on today. What information is too personal? So, I am single, I am married. Is that personal or too personal? Or you might want to say, I don't want to say.
I don't really care whether I say not to say about I'm married or not married,
Yes.
because I'm single.
So often information that is considered too personal though is your sexual choices, your political choices, your religious choices,
That could be very personal.
and something like your ethnicity, right? Because that can lead to discrimination.
Let me write down. Religion or political preference and my sexual preference. Such things can be very personal because it might cause some trouble.
Yes, discrimination. Well, we've had quite a long warm-up because it's quite important to discuss it, and information is very important and is a big part of what databases are.
Right. All these things can be included into databases. Big data.
Big data. So let's go to our first dialogue, which is going to talk about that, dialogue 7.1.
Oh, John and Hetty.
John and Hetty. So let's cross over into another part of the business world in London.
Where is that?
That would be the city.
Oh, the city.
Yes. There are lots of financial businesses.
Ooh, John and Hetty are standing on the sidebar of our...
Well, they've come to tell us that John and
Blackboard.
Hetty are at the office talking about a dilemma or a dilemma, right? A dilemma. A dilemma is a problem. Another word for a problem. A dilemma is something you have to solve.
A conundrum.
Conundrum. Oh, that's a good word. So let's give our once again, we're back to a couple of warm-up questions, but dialogue warm-up questions. So, for example, what information would you share with a company? Yonghi? What information would you be happy... From our list of before, what would you be happy sharing with a company?
I think I would share my surname and email address and home address, mobile number.
Okay, and what information would you not share with a company?
I wouldn't personally tell, if possible, about my marital status because I would prefer just they call me Miss rather than Miss or Mrs.
So marital status might be a little bit more personal, something you don't want to share with companies, right? And so this is a dilemma companies have, right? What to do with people's personal information. It's in the news all the time, and it is very sensitive. So information about people is sensitive, and you have to be careful what is shared. So as we say, John is having a dilemma with user data. Let's go join them in their discussion. Here we go.
Ooh.
Okay, so they're in the coffee shop. Let's listen to John and Hetty discussing user data. Here we go.
Good morning. Tea for two, please. Certainly. I will deliver to your table. Thank you. You're welcome. Hi, Hetty. Hi, John. What's up? We have an issue with the data. Why is that a problem? Some of the user data is very personal. I think it is wrong to collect personal data. Yes, but we do not share it with anyone. I would not trust you. Oh, thanks. You need to inform users that you're collecting their data. That is a good idea. I will talk to the programmers.
Well, there you go.
Oh, that
So
was very interesting.
We were listening to how John is having a dilemma with collecting user data. Collecting user data, quite important that bit for answering the questions. So, Yonghi, can we just read through the conversation for our listeners one more time with the dialogue there?
That would be very, very necessary because it's very important, especially these days.
Okay, so I'll read John, you read Hetty as usual. Hi, Hetty.
Hi, John. What's up?
We have an issue with the data.
Why is that a problem?
Some of the user data is very personal.
I think it is wrong to collect personal data.
Yes, but we do not share it with anyone.
I would not trust you.
Oh, thanks.
You need to inform users that you are collecting their data.
That is a good idea. I will talk to the programmers.
Ooh.
We
The
lost.
lines disappeared.
Yes, we lost the line at the bottom there. But yes, at the end, just to move the mouse for you, I will talk to the programmers.
To include notice to the users.
Okay, so there we have the dialogue. We've been through it enough, and now we will just ask some questions. We only have 2 questions for this one. So, Yoongi, what does Hedy disagree with?
She disagree with the collecting the personal data of the users.
Very good. And what should John do?
John should talk to the programmers to post notice to the users that we are collecting their personal data.
Okay, yes, that's very good. To post to or inform the users that their data is being collected. And ask them for their permission. Very nice, we like that. Yes, you should ask users for permission. So John should talk to the programmers. Very good, Yoongi. We like that answer.
Fish.
Fish, yes, fish coming your way. Okay, we finished the dialogue. As usual, we shall move on to reading 7.1. So bye to Hedy and John for now. Let's go over to the reading. I think we have another little trip over to London.
Ooh.
Oh, there you are, by the River Thames.
Wow, that place look familiar. I see that like oval-shaped one look like spaceship is London City Hall.
On the left, yes. The one on the left is the... You're looking at the wrong side of the river there.
Okay.
Been a long time, but that's right next to Tower Bridge. Okay, let me just pause that a moment because it's not reading 6.1. We are, of course, reading 7.1, talking about data collections and databases. So let's take a look at reading 7.1. Oh, there we go. So we have reading 7.1. Some computer databases manage huge collections of data in computer systems, from Samsung, research and development data, corporate accounts, customer information and legal documents, to Facebook content such as location, likes and dislikes, and social media posts, to the sales inventory and international logistics of Amazon, to manage the organization and storage of data. Data is stored on a DBMS. The DBMS is the abbreviation for the Database Management System. Most management systems use the relational database model. So as we can see, it's Samsung. So for example, Samsung will store research and development data, corporate accounts, customer information, and legal documents. Facebook will collect data such as location, likes and dislikes, and social media posts. And Amazon will collect sales, inventory, and international logistics. So the DBMS they use is the abbreviation, meaning D for database, B for base, M for management, and S for system, because it's an abbreviation. And most management systems use the relational database model. We can ask Yoongi, why? Well, we're going to explore that shortly. So Yoongi, are you ready to answer the 3 questions about this?
Yes.
Okay. So we have data collections and databases. And we're going to ask 3 questions. Let's go to our question center. Come on, question center. There we go. So Yoongi. Oh. Wait, let me... Okay, here we are. We have 3 questions. So Yoongi, what information is collected by companies?
Companies collect huge data in computer system from Samsung R&D data, corporate accounts, customer information, and legal documents. Cases Facebook content such as location, likes and dislikes, and social media posts. For Amazon, collecting the sales and inventory in an international logistics.
A lot of information and a lot of data, hence the importance of databases. What is DBMS?
DBMS stands for Database Management System.
Yes. What model do most database systems run on?
The relational database model is the one most database systems run on.
Perfect.
Oh, fish.
Yes, fish coming your way. Okay.
Professor Neil, did I surprise you?
Yes, you surprised me. That was good answers, and I'm very happy with those.
Can I have 3 fish then?
Fish coming later today, but for now we've got more details about database tables. One of the big things here is talking about database tables. So, a table. Alright, so here we have an example of a table. So, in the handout, in the book, you will see the section about database tables. So, the most common form of database system is the relational database system. Relational databases make it possible to avoid duplicate information and data inconsistencies. This is done by storing data on different tables like a matrix or spreadsheet. Data is divided into tables with columns and rows. Each data entry, so each row is a data entry, and columns are different data properties. So for example, if we look at table 7.1, we have across the top our data properties: ID, date, customer initials, customer name, customer phone number, and order total. Those are the data properties, and each one has a data entry. But as just mentioned, you want to avoid duplicate information.
Double information.
Yes, so it's called duplicate entries. So duplicate entries is because of duplicate information and data inconsistencies. And this is avoided by storing data on different tables. Right? So how do you avoid duplicate information? So when storing more than one invoice for the same customer, information gets duplicated. So duplicated information is hard to manage and update. To avoid it, the relational model splits related information in different tables. So it splits the information into different tables. So here, it has to be split. So as we say, duplicated information is avoided in the relational model by splitting related information in different tables.
Dividing into 2 different forms of tables.
Yes, and that can be seen in table 7.2 in the handout. Okay. And so that will lead. And there are questions and answers to deal with that in the reading. And for now, we are moving on to vocabulary. Okay, so go in the unit to database vocabulary 7.1, where we deal with words. Vocabulary. These are some vocabulary terms for talking about relational databases, or any databases. Alright, please note if you have the book there that the vocabulary here looks like it does in the screen. Alright, so you should have so our vocabulary terms are table, row, column, field, integer field, schema, primary key, migration, index, and transaction.
A bit tricky vocabulary today.
It is, and so today Yonghee is going to help you by saying the gaps. We're not going to show them. we're going to show you. So here, Yonghee is going to... I will read the sentence and Yonghee will fill the gap. So A what?
Give me 1 minute, Professor Neil. Let me look at the let me scan through the sentences.
Okay, so number 1.
Okay. Number 1 is a transaction is a list of database operations that must be executed atomically.
Very good. Number 1, transaction. Number 2.
An index is a list of data entries with matching data properties.
Yes. Number 2, index.
And number 3, a migration script is used for changing of the database structure.
Number 3, migration.
Number 4, the special identification field in a table, the ID field, is also known as the primary key.
And 5.
Number 5, the combinations of fields and restrictions is called the table's schema.
Good. And 6.
If a column only allows whole numbers, it is referred to as an integer field.
Excellent. And
Number 7, columns are commonly referred to as field. Number 8, columns are the different properties, that is, data type and restrictions data entries can have. Number 9, each data entry is a row in a table. Finally,
a lot of work for Yonghee.
a lot of work. Professor Neil, one more fish.
Number 10.
Number 10, a table works like a matrix or spreadsheet and is made up of rows
And columns.
and columns missing
which
on
is
the table
missing
on the screen.
Oh well, we'll have to fix that later. It is in the handout. It is in the book. Just one thing to fix there was number 7. Columns are commonly referred to as fields. Fields with an S. Okay, but other than that, Yonghee, perfect.
Oh, that was hard.
Okay.
I hope this will help to students.
Yes. So make sure there are 11 there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 terms. Okay, that have to put in the gaps. And we're going to be practicing them more shortly after the grammar. So today's grammar, after looking at
Wow. Where is that?
that is Brighton Beach on the south coast of England, one of my favourite places.
Wow, it's beautiful.
But to point out, the water is freezing, the beach is stony, but it is nice in the summer.
Wow, that was good.
So in this one, we're talking about in grammar the subject and the adjunct. So we're going to go through this fairly quickly, but not too quickly. So by reading it, mostly we hope you will learn it by practice. So the subject and the adjunct. We have done the object, we have done the complement. The adjunct is the last one we are looking at. For creating the declarative sentence is used to describe when, where, and how something is done. So bad grammar, the meeting will in 10 minutes begin. Good grammar, the meeting will begin in 10 minutes.
Because we are curious about when.
Yes, and the location of an adjunct is important. They can move around, but they do have some rules. So let's look at some of those rules.
Hello.
Okay. Okay, so here the adjunct AT provides extra information about time. So We'll explain that in a moment. So in 10 minutes is an adjunct of time. The meeting will begin. So here you have a comma after it. But the adjunct of time can move. Not between the subject and the predicate, but before the subject or after the predicate. So here the presentation ends in 10 minutes. If it comes before the predicate, before the subject, you need a comma. If it comes after, no comma.
Because it can be used as independently.
Independent day. So there you go. So the adjunct is a prepositional phrase.
Here?
The subject is still noun phrase and the verb, and the will begin is the verb phrase. And it follows the same pattern. Noun phrase, verb phrase, prepositional phrase. So you should see that in the note section, explained with the note section of the handout or book. So the adjunct, and adjunct T provides about time. We've done that one. So they answer questions to do with when. When will the presentation begin? When does the presentation end? So time ones usually answer questions to do with when. So as mentioned, there are other types of adjuncts. So an adjunct AL deals with location. So if it's to do with location, it is answering, Yonghee, the question that begins with?
With where.
Where. Alright. So if it's to do with there, so where will the meeting begin? Where is the data? So that deals with location. Location is talking about where something is. So as you'll see, other adjuncts deal AT deals with time, AL with location, and you should see this in the handout and the book. AD degree is degree. How did the meeting go? The meeting went slowly. AF deals with frequency. How often is the meeting held? The meeting is held every morning. AP deals with purpose. Why was the meeting held? All right, the meeting happens for your benefit. All right, so all of these are adjuncts, and they deal with different parts of the speech and answer different questions. We are mainly focusing today on the prepositional phrase ones of them, and we're going to look about talking about where things are in a database. So you will see in the practice section, which comes up here, practice. Oh, once again, we go through London.
Again.
Yeah, as I say, I'm sharing my personal information.
Look at that, those red double-decker bus.
Lovely double-decker buses. That one's on the way to Maida Hill. Okay, number 41. So practice. Mark the subject and adjunct in the declarative sentences about the database table to answer the following questions. So for example, do we have this on a big screen? I don't think so. So subject, predicate, complement, finish with the adjunct. Where do you store the data? So as it says here, we store the date data in the second column. First column, second column. Where do we find the information about Mr. Wadsworth? You find his information in row 2, in row 3, under ID 48. Here, 48, 48. How many rows does the table have for Mr. Wadsworth? The table has 2 rows. 2 rows for Mr. Wadsworth.
It's very, very useful.
So in the practice section, follow the same pattern for answering the questions. If you have any questions about your answers, send them a message. So in the homework, you have to deal with questions 4 to...
Kazam.
Yeah. 4 through to 9. These all deal with table 7.1. And should follow a sort of subject, predicate, object, adjunct pattern. And then you should also, you'll see, have questions 10 to 15 to answer questions about table 7.2. Again, in the homework. So Yonghi, do you think that's good enough for now?
Yes, it's quite challenging, but it's very useful if you once understand it. So, cheer up.
Yes. Good luck to our students. We are asking a lot of you this week, and there's more to come in part 2. So that's the subject. That's the adjunct.
Ooh, this is the end of part
That's
1.
the end of part 1. Thank you for joining us. Best of luck, and we will see you in part 2. So bye from me, your Professor Neil. Bye from our TA, Yonghi. Bye.
Bye. See you in the part 2. Bye bye.